Make sure you exit the building the same way you entered. Never buy eggs after dark. And always, always whistle while passing a graveyard. R.L. Stine's Superstitious, 1995. Released in the pinnacle of his popularity. Now, even though it was a bestseller for 8 weeks, they say it was still not a smashing hit. Probably because most of his fan base was still in elementary school. And according to Wikipedia, the movie rights were picked up by Miramax at the time. Of course, the Weinsteins were shrewd enough to pick them up, but it never formulated into a movie. And then Miramax got folded into Disney's archives. So, and I doubt Disney ever plans on making this movie. And God, this movie was awesome. It features one of the best characters, regardless of movie or book. I mean, he has the coolness of Tyler Durden and the solemn of Hannibal Lecter. I absolutely love this. Let me introduce the story and the characters. Lead character, 24-year-old dumb woman who always looks for love in the wrong places. You know, a typical R.L. Stine character. And she is going to grad school at this small college, Morehead State or some made up, and I think it's in Pennsylvania, where in the opening chapter she meets Liam O'Connor, which is a college professor on folklore. And the one thing that really pisses me off about this, we never even get to hear any of his lectures or go on. He's just flirting with her from moment one. I mean, in the opening chapter, she's eating crab legs, and he steps in with his factoid, actually throws some salt behind him, and it accidentally hits her, and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, just one of my little superstitions." And from that moment, this might be a long review, so buckle in. The kittenish discourse ensues. And then he goes on, this is how he hits on her. He's like, "Oh, crab legs, were those tasty?" "Yeah, they were good." "Yeah, well, you know, in this island in Samoa, they bury their crab legs after they're done eating them so the ghosts don't come back to kill them for eating their crabs." And that pretty much sums up this whole book. Sex. Oh wait, he's like, I gotta write an adult novel. Apparently, some publisher gave him $1 million before he even started writing it. That's why he even wrote an adult novel, horror novel. So, and he's like, okay, this is what I need. This is the recipe: sex, gore, flirtatious conversations, sex, gore, superstitious fluff, sex, women's inner fretting thoughts, and sex, gore, violence, gore, and sex. So, let's get on to the more of Liam O'Connor. He is from Ireland, and like I said, he's a superstitious expert. And people start dying on campus, and he's just picking up women left and right, and he's so suave, and he finds all these women that are really into... How could he find all these women that are into this superstitious talk? I mean, I talk like this in real life, and women get bored so suddenly, and then I have to revert to topics like what toppings do you have to put on your pizza? I mean, let's be serious. And Sara doesn't even get bored by all this superstitious trash until the final third of the book. And there's a bunch of awesome moments, and everyone that's dying has somewhat of a connection to him. R.L. Stine really puts no sophisticated words into it at all. He's known for not doing that much research. All you could tell is that he just bought a superstitious book and threw in superstitious info here and there, like rabbits foot, and if you cut your hair, you cut your life short, and oh, there's a Chinese superstition where if you have long fingernails, then that's indicative of a long life, and soap should never be passed from one hand to another, and we gotta have an outdoor wedding. And he meets this bitch in like September, and they're getting married by November. And but it really never gets old if you're into superstitious type of topics. Anyway, let me read an excerpt of all this salacious dialogue. Oh shit. My marker just fell in one part, but I have this part. Okay. No smile, just those big brown eyes burning into her, burning. He moved faster now, sliding, down to meet her, up, then down to meet her, their bodies damp against each other, a rapid rhythm in time for their breathing together. And then he exploded without warning, with the tiniest of cries, buried himself in her, his face between her breasts. And you're just thinking about R.L. Stine's thoughts as he's writing this. This is all verbatim here. She came with a soft tremble, gentle, her arms going slack, hands sliding to his shoulders. She sighed. After a few seconds, she raised her head, finally smiling. Kissed her, still deep inside, kissed her as if he didn't want it to end. I've just made love to Liam. So soon, so soon. I'm so happy. And she is like the dumbest bitch ever. And we have to hear all her inner thoughts throughout the whole novel. Then there's this awesome part where he has the confrontation. He meets her mom. They go and visit her parents, even though she has a mom. I don't know. Dad isn't there or whatever. And, the mom just so happens to have a black cat, and he ends up killing it, of course, and Sara never suspects anything because she's so fucking clueless. Anyway, let me get towards the end of this book now. Mainly he knows a lot about mainly I know a lot of weird and useless information. That's a verbatim Liam quote. Oh yeah, Sara's a psychology major, but she only uses those skills in the final chapter. Let's see here. Okay, I'm gonna get to the ending. So people are dying on campus. We all know it's Liam. Oh yeah, he has a sister that he lives with named Margaret. And then Sara moves in too, so it's like three's company. And, he ends up catching Liam in bed. I'm getting into more spoilers now, so if you want to read the book, go and read it and then come back and listen to the ending. Or you can listen to the spoilers now. So, she catches Liam in bed with his sister Margaret. And she ends up smashing the mirror overhead, and obviously that's a big no-no for superstitious people. And so he freaks out, and she leaves, and she wanders around campus in a snow blizzard. And then she ends up showing back up the house to get her stuff, and Margaret's dead. Then she ends up going to Milton's house, which is the dean of admissions or some stupid shit, and Liam's there, and this is the final confrontation coming right up here. And he reveals to her how he got this curse. It ends up being a congenital curse passed on to him by his father. The demons of superstition. Here goes another excerpt. Liam, what demons? What demons are you talking about? He swallowed again and took a deep breath. The demons of superstition. Didn't you wonder about my superstitions, Sara? Didn't you wonder why I was so strict, so vigilant, so watchful every waking moment? It was because of the demons. I had no choice. Liam, please, sit down. I can help you. Yeah, she can help him. All superstitions are designed to keep away evil demons. I told you that, Sara, remember? Why do we say bless you when someone sneezes? It's to keep the evil demons away, remember? When we knock on wood or throw salt over our shoulder, it's all to keep the demons away. But I can't keep the demons away. He was screaming now. bellowing, pounding his chest with both fists. I can't keep the demons away because all of them, all the demons of superstition, they all live inside of me. Oh! Yes, you finally get the awesome moments in the final few chapters. And so she doesn't believe him. She thinks he's insane. She gives him basically a psychological overview of, I cannot take this. He's insane. He's obviously insane if he believes all this. And so she ends up smashing a bunch of mirrors in the house to prove that there's no demons. And so lo and behold, what happens? The demons start physically crawling out of his throat. Slimy, hideous, grotesque, execrable, yellow, spade-clawed, serpent-tongued demons coming out, and one of them breaks his back, and then they all chase Sara, and she ends up collapsing, and he reveals to her, like, he wasn't a psycho, you know, he wasn't even killing them. It was the demons that, whenever he slips up on a superstition, they release out of him, and they kill someone that he knows, an acquaintance or whatever. And, okay, and he explains to her he only married her, he really loves Margaret. Margaret's not even his sister. Margaret's actually his true love from Ireland. They moved away to get away from his dad. There is no explanation of how his dad got the curse. Like I said, it's just inherent. And he's like, I'm only with you because I've been looking for a bride out of wedlock to have a kid. That's the only way I could pass the curse on. And so he basically used her, and she's like, and then he sacrificed himself. He got himself in front of the demon, and the demon broke his back. And Sarah's like, oh my God, Liam really did love me. He sacrificed his life for me. Oh, so sweet. And, but they've been having sex throughout the chapters of the book, in the middle part of the book. And, she collapses in the snow and wakes up in the hospital. And then the final kicker is, let me go to it, page 388. Good news. This is the nurse talking. Yeah, good news. You're going to be okay. And your baby is fine too. My baby? The nurse nodded. A grin spread across her face, and Sara started to scream. Period. And you're like, oh, so somewhat kind of predictable. You know what's going on, but the enjoyment is the ride if you like superstitious topics. If you have a book on superstitious, if you love this supernatural type of shit, you will love this book. More tailored for women. Most guys that review it on Goodread don't like it. Most women that read it actually love it because it's more relatable to them. And, yeah, awesome book. I was just enamored with the character Liam O'Connor. I would have taken it a different way. I would love to adapt this as a screenplay, except for I'd alter it a lot and get a lot of hate. Cannot wait to hopefully see this one day as a movie. This was JBM from Mr. Creepshow 9. I give it an A-, and look forward to more horror movie reviews. I'm out. Thanks for watching.